Hello, and welcome to the Representing Long Beach State University presentation hosted by the Bickerstaff Academic Center. Over the course of this presentation, you will learn about your responsibilities of representing LBSU as a student athlete through social media, online learning, and online communication to faculty and staff. As a student athlete at LBSU, you signify more than just yourself. You and your actions represent your team, coach, sport, and the entire athletic community at Long Beach State. You often stand out due to your team gear, physical appearance, or recognition from faculty, students, and general fans who follow your sport. So it is important to treat people and interact with people with respect and kindness. The way you represent yourself on any social media platform is another thing to keep in mind. Anything you post online is available to anyone in the world, whether your profile is private or not. So be mindful what you post and be sure to read through the list of do's and don'ts and follow it accordingly. These photos are examples of what not to post on social media. The photo on the left, after was posted, the student was kicked off the team. The photo in the middle, after was posted, the student was suspended from the team. And the photo on the right is just a terrible post and should be avoided at all cost. Remember who you represent and refer back to the list of do's and don'ts as a guide of what to post or what not to post. At some point in time throughout the semester, your professors will know that you're a student athlete. Whether you need their signature for a travel letter or they receive a grade check request from our office, they will know who you are and they will hold you to a higher standard. Therefore, when you communicate with them, be sure to treat them with respect. And remember to participate in class and use office hours as needed.
In this section, we will be discussing and showing examples on how to communicate with your professor, advisor, and classmates. Asking questions, seeking help, and guidance is great, but have you tried searching for the answers? Before composing an email to your professor or advisor, make sure to read over the information packets, emails, or syllabus they have provided you. Believe it or not, in most cases, the answer or answers are in the syllabus or school webpage. It's okay to ask questions, but again, do your research first. If you do email your professor or advisor, make sure it is on time, detailed, and to the point. So you've done your research and you can't seem to find an answer to your question. So you decide to email your professor. It is very important that you start off your email with a salutation. An example is, "Dear Professor," or "Hello Professor." Using "hey," "hi," or "what's up" is far too casual, and remember, you always want to remain professional. When emailing a classmate, I believe it's okay to use that casual language like "hi" or "hey," but you must stay respectful and use appropriate language for school. Salutation should be followed by the professor's title and name, preferably their last name. If it is an advisor, it's okay to state their first or their first and last name. Instructors, however, should be addressed by doctor or professor. A good rule of thumb is check to see how they present themselves in your first class meeting or in their syllabus. Let's not forget the subject line in an email. It is very important to give a descriptive phrase pertaining to your message, not just "hi" or "hello." Also, read the course syllabus, as your professor may make recommendations on how to write or address a subject line pertaining to their course. Below are some examples. Instructors and advisors see many students at a time. In order for them to know who you are, it is required to provide your full name, school ID, which class you are in, and class section if applicable. Below are a few examples to consider. To the left is a bad example. Who is the student addressing the email to? It seems that the salutation was incomplete. And where is their ID number? They offer times of availability, but they're not asking and being considerate of their advisor or professor's time. To the right is a good example. They have a salutation, introduced themselves, and provided their ID number, which again is required. They explained they are a student, provided the subject, date, and time of the class. They explained their problem, but were brief and to the point. They tried to find solutions. They found no answers, in which they wrote the email. They thanked them for their time and signed off with their full name and their ID. This is a great example of how to email your professor or advisor. When communicating with instructors and other staff, you should write in full, grammatically correct sentences and with a respectful tone. Many students are used to a very informal style of writing in chat rooms, blogs, text messages, and so forth. If you are not feeling well or you are ill, stay clear of putting too much personal information in the email. A simple, "I'm not feeling well, I am not doing too well, I will be missing class" is fine. Just be prepared to show proof of a doctor's note. When emailing your professor or advisor, it is required to use your school email account, so please refrain from using any personal email accounts. It helps you look professional, but more importantly, it lets your professor and advisor know that you are a student at CSULB. When emailing your professor or advisor, you want to communicate early, often, and you want to be proactive. Remember, instructors and advisors are willing to help students, but they are unable to pick up on nonverbal cues, such as look confusion on a student's face. So you want to be specific and you want to be clear about your question. Below are some examples. It is imperative that you acknowledge that your professor and advisor has 100+ students, and if you need an answer right away, chances are it may take them a couple of hours or a day to get back to you. If you do email them early, be clear and concise. Also, be patient for the response. Again, you are not the only student they will see throughout the semester, so remember to be proactive. How can you be proactive? Utilize the office hours as much as possible, and in this case, it may be Zoom office hours, and get to know your professor and classmates in those office hours. Seek assistance from them or your classmates, and if possible, create or organize study room sessions.